Hello all, good morning and welcome to your energy forecast for the week ahead. I actually usually only pull three, and I decided my intuition was telling me to go with three different decks this week. But while shuffling, two popped out for Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, and also for the weekend. So it looks like the cards have a lot to tell us this weekend, so I'll just get started. So then, we've got two cards from the lovely Postcards from Spirit, which are our messages for Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. So starting with the first. Dear you, human beings spend a huge percentage of life asleep. Not just in bed, but the kind where you forget you are a spiritual immortal being, taking on a temporary human form. It's not your fault. Everyone suffers from spiritual amnesia once in a while. As you develop an identity, an ego, you begin to see through the eyes of a small self and have less connection to your soul self. You may not recognize this is going on, but you sure can feel it. We're here to remind you to look through your soul's eyes and see that magic is everywhere. Infinite potential lies in spirit, who is teaming with you to fulfill the contract you made to contribute to the evolution of the whole world. Wake up and remember that all the help you need is orchestrated in the invisible realms. Your mind, in alignment with divine intelligence, is unstoppable. The world is yours to co-create. You are so loved and we are all behind you. So that's just a little reminder from Spirit that we came here as more than just a physical being. We came here as a spiritual being inside of a physical body to fulfill a specific purpose, a specific contract that we were bound by before we came to this planet. And it's really just asking you to have a look at your life. Are you fulfilling what you came here to do? Are you living your life purpose? Okay? So have a little think around that. Who are you at a soul level? Don't just get caught up in the everyday, day-to-day stuff and forget that you came here for a much bigger purpose. Which is actually quite funny, given that it's the new moon and it's all about looking. This new moon in Pisces is all about looking at who you are at a soul level and spiritual level. The bigger picture, your purpose. So it's quite funny that card decided to pop out today. So moving on anyway to the second card, which is also for Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. Dear you, there is a balance between activity and rest, ebb and flow. You can't have one without the other. If you are faced with an obstacle right now, the best course is surrender and non-resistance. Soon enough, you'll see how easy it is to flow around it. Now is one of those times when you must trust the river of your life. Go with the flow, and in no time, you'll reach what you have your heart and hopes set on. Just remember, Spirit will keep your head above water and will direct the currents. When it's time for a greater effort, you'll know exactly when you'll need to work those manifesting muscles. It can be challenging to master the flow cycles of your life, but as you develop your skills, affluence will be yours. Enjoy the flow and trust those currents, for we're right here with you, our little umbrella drinks, smiling at your success. Love you so very much. So again, this is just a little reminder that you have a bigger purpose, but not to push too hard, sometimes rather than resist. And as we know, what we resist persists. You need to just sort of surrender and go with the flow and know that Spirit have your best interest at heart. They are able to see what we came here to do when we don't always remember. So they know what's best for us and the bigger picture that we can't see. So just surrender and know that they have your back and that things will work out for the best. They'll give you the nudge when you need to put more effort in. But for the meantime, just let them do their work. And moving on then to the card for Thursday and Friday. Okay, and it's a card from Spirit Messages deck. And we've got choices. So when you accept responsibility for your life and the choices you make, you begin to tap into the power of your own spirit. You'll be able to listen to and appreciate the intuitive wisdom that's inside you and apply it positively and constructively to your outside world. We always have choices to make, that's a given, and sometimes people hesitate or are resistant in making choices because they're afraid that they'll make the wrong choice. But isn't it better to make the wrong choice and learn from it than to make no choice at all and stay stuck? So choices are always around us, even in the smallest of things, what you'll wear today, or it could be a life-changing decision like moving to another country or packing in your career. You know, we will be faced with choices no matter what the situation. It's up to you how you cope with that choice and the decision you make. And it's just saying that if you feel stuck around choices or you're worried or anxious about making the right one, then start to turn inwards. The answers are always within you. They're always with you, yourself. We have this tendency to look outwards, even looking at cards, but these are only simply tools that reflect what's going on within us, and it's bringing that message to us quicker and easier for us to access. So look within yourself and listen to that intuitive wisdom around that choice. But regardless, you have choices to make, so it's time to step up and start making them. You need to take action around these choices. That's very much highlighted for this part of the week, which is funny after the new moon because the energy is still high, and again it was all around looking at your life purpose and are you here for something greater, or who are you at a soul level and are you fulfilling what you came here to do. Mercury retrograde is coming in around this time as well, and it's going to be about choices and communication. So, great card to pop up. And finally then, moving on to the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And the first card we have is a consistent formula gives me consistent results. So, like learning to understand the basics of mathematics and then having the successful experience of understanding the results of their applications, once you have a formula for understanding your world that is always consistent, it will yield consistent results to you. So, people, when they look at the world around them, they think they're a victim to the world. They're powerless in what happens in their world, and that they have no control over it. But that's not true. There are others then that have heard this concept of creating your own world, but they think that you have to have a certain magic key. You have to be a mathematician, you have to be a scientist to understand all these universal laws and how it really works, and that there's still that missing ingredient to make that formula work. It's not. That formula is you and your thoughts, your feelings and your actions. So the law of attraction states like attracts like. That will always be consistent. So if you're having negative thoughts, you're attracting negative things into your world. You cannot have negative thoughts and attract positive into your world. It's just not possible with that law. So your results will be consistent when you figure out what your formula is for understanding your world. Firstly, you need to look and see what is going on around you. What are you attracting to yourself? Do you like it? Did you mean to attract it? Were you conscious of it? Think about all these things. And now that you have the formula, universal law will stay consistent. Like will always attract like. So change your thoughts to a more positive thought and experience more positive feelings, and you will attract more positive results into your life. And also then for the weekend we have, I will reach for the best feeling thought I have access to. Always be reaching for the feeling of relief that comes when you release a more resistant thought and replace it with a more allowing, better feeling thought. The stream of well-being is always flowing through you, and the more you allow it, the better you feel. The more you resist it, the worse you feel. So we've all heard Abraham Hicks talk about this stream or river of well-being and how it's always flowing through us, and it's really just a universal energy. It's an invisible force which is always flowing through us and helping us move along in life, and it's what attracts things to us along the way. So the more you allow it and just sort of go with that flow, go with that tide, the current, allow it to pull you along, the better you will feel. The more you resist it, it's like trying to paddle upstream, paddle against the current, swim against the current. It's hard work. It's harder than it needs to be, and the worse you're going to feel. So go with it. That your natural instinct is to be positive, is to allow well-being. It is to be in a state of well-being and abundance. It is us ourselves that get in our own way, our ego jumping in, butting in all the time and filling our head full of mind chatter and stupid limiting beliefs. So when we can release those which are resistant, and as we know, the more we resist something, the more persistent it is. So if we can release those resistant thoughts and allow it to be replaced with a more allowing, more better feeling, positive and receiving thought, then the better we will feel, and the quicker and easier things will come to us that we have been trying to attract. And we will just be in a better state overall, physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, because that is what you were intended for. You were meant to experience a state of well-being. You were meant to thrive, not just survive. You were meant to be abundant, and there is that infinite source of abundance for us and well-being if we would only just allow it. So stop getting in your own way. That's the energy forecast for the week ahead. So I hope you enjoy, take care, and I will be back next week with the same.